Right now, breaking news on News Channel 8.
Look at what happened.
It is a stunning moment in American political history. A former president running for re-election, the target of an assassination attempt. Good evening, I'm Keith Kate.
I'm Jennifer Lee. Thank you for joining us. Donald Trump shot today at a political rally in Pennsylvania where the alleged gunman is dead and at least one person in the crowd also lost their life. We have team coverage for you tonight.
Our political reporter Ty Russell has been speaking with local party officials about today's violence. Allison Henning has social media reaction from former Presidents Bush, Obama, Clinton, and more.
Georgia MacArthur has also been talking with voters, but we begin tonight with NBC's Alice Barr, who has the latest.
Today's shooting in Pennsylvania has sent shockwaves across the political landscape.
Party officials on both sides of the aisle are unified in their condemnation of the violence.
News Channel 8 political reporter Ty Russell has been speaking with him tonight. He continues our team coverage. Ty.
Well, Ken and Jen, the message from every Bay Area official I talked to tonight: stop the violence and unite. But what's also interesting, especially from Republicans, they were saddened to see this happen, but they said, unfortunately, they were not surprised. And the Florida GOP sent out a post asking for unity and saying the country is more divided than ever. Senator Rick Scott also sent a post saying there is zero tolerance for violence, and he's glad the former president seems to be okay. Jen?
Thank you, Ty. Many of you were enjoying an otherwise uneventful Saturday evening when you heard the news.
And that news spread quickly, too. We spoke with some Bay Area residents who say they were taken aback by the details that were coming out so quickly from today's political rally. News Channel 8's Georgia MacArthur joining us live in Tampa with more on that. And Georgia, people were telling you they couldn't believe what happened, and now they're concerned about what could happen next.
That's right, Keith and Jen. People here in Tampa are stunned at this act of violence. Those I spoke with tonight say no matter your party's affiliation or viewpoints, this is not what America is or should be. And many people also say they are worried about the future of political rallies and in general the overall political climate. Reporting live in Tampa, Georgia MacArthur, 8 on your side.
Reaction to the assassination attempt on former President Donald Trump flooded social media.
Former Presidents George W. Bush, Barack Obama, and Bill Clinton all posted immediate support for Trump and condemnation for the violence. News Channel 8's Allison Henning continues our team coverage.
Keith, Jen, it was one post after another pouring in today. Former President George W. Bush posted on X that he and former First Lady Laura Bush are grateful that President Trump is safe following this cowardly attack on his life, also saying that he condemns the men and women of the Secret Service, commends, I should say, the men and women of the Secret Service for their speedy response. Now, former President Barack Obama posted on X also saying in part, there is absolutely no place for political violence in our democracy. We should all be relieved that former President Trump wasn't seriously hurt and use this moment to recommit ourselves to civility and respect in our politics. Michelle and I are wishing him a quick recovery. And former President Bill Clinton also saying the violence has no place in America, especially in our political process, and that he and former First Lady Hillary Clinton are thankful that President Trump is safe and that they are heartbroken for all of those affected by this attack. Jen, Keith.
All right, thank you, Allison. Again, if we want to recap now what we know so far about today's violence in Pennsylvania. President Trump is said to be, former President Trump said to be doing okay. He was shot in the ear at a rally in Butler, Pennsylvania. He was quickly secured by Secret Service agents and then rushed from the area to receive medical treatment.
The Secret Service confirms the gunman is dead. At least one person attending the rally was also shot and killed, while 2 other attendees were critically wounded. The FBI is taking the lead on this investigation and is coordinating with the Secret Service and the ATF. Speaker Mike Johnson says the House will conduct a full investigation and will be calling Secret Service Director, DHS, and the FBI officials to appear before hearings as soon as possible.
And we're going to have much more on today's developing story right after this.
In the ever-changing world of weather, accuracy is everything. Max Defender 8 is Tampa Bay's most trusted and accurate weather radar. With its advanced military-grade technology, Max Defender 8 can see storms other radars can't. So you'll know exactly when and where severe weather will impact your community. At News Channel 8, your safety is our priority. Count on Max Defender 8, the most accurate weather radar in Florida. Only on News Channel 8, on your side. When you see news happening in your neighborhood, report it by sending in your photos and videos. Scan the QR code or visit WFLA.com/report it.
We have a
Well, if you are just joining us, it has been an extraordinary day in American history. Former President Donald Trump was shot in the ear at a political rally in Butler, Pennsylvania earlier today.
He is fine and safe tonight, but the images of the assassination attempt are stunning. The former president was speaking from the podium when shots rang out. You see he immediately reached for his right ear and crouched behind the lectern. The Secret Service swarmed him, blocking his body with theirs. They eventually got him up, and he, defiant and bloodied, raised his fist into the air to supporters. He was eventually rushed from the area to a local medical facility for treatment. We know the gunman who fired those shots is dead tonight. Sadly, at least one person who was attending the rally was also shot and killed, and 2 other people in the crowd were critically injured. Lawmakers on both sides of the aisle are speaking out about today's violence, condemning it in no uncertain terms.
And they have been taking to social media to express their outrage and their concern for both former President Trump and the state of the political tension in America that we're currently in. News Channel 8's Allison Henning joining us again with more reactions.
Keith, Jen, Governor Ron DeSantis posted on X today saying he and First Lady Casey DeSantis are praying for Donald Trump and his family tonight. Republican Senator Marco Rubio says he's also praying for President Trump and all of those who attended that rally in Pennsylvania today. And former Democratic Representative Gabby Giffords, who you may remember, she wrote, "Political violence is terrifying. I know. I'm holding former President Trump and all those affected by today's indefensible act of violence in my heart. Political violence is un-American and is never acceptable. Never," she wrote. And American Congressman Steve Scalise, Majority Leader of the U.S. House of Representatives, who was also shot in a 2017 attack, wrote on X that he is praying for President Donald Trump and said there is never any place for political violence. Keith, Jen.
Thank you, Allison. We will have more on this historic day and this developing story.
We're also going to have your weekend forecast coming up next.
This is the big moment here.
It is just a work of art.
Effort for that race.
That's jaw-dropping.
Oh, baby. Boy, was that good.
The style, the flow, she's got it all going for her right now.
I'm just sitting here in awe.
The Olympics brought to you on News Channel 8 by Mater Brothers Furniture and Design. Live your best Florida life.
A defiant Donald Trump just moments after being shot, raising his fist in the air, appearing to say, "Fight, fight."
The former president bloodied, clearly shaken, but resolute. He was surrounded by Secret Service agents, making every effort to shield his body with theirs as they escorted him off the stage to a waiting armored vehicle. Again, the former president is safe tonight. He received treatment at a medical facility and released a statement that he had been shot through the ear, but is fine. We know the gunman is dead. At least one rally participant is also dead, and 2 others in the crowd were critically wounded.
Max Defender 8, the most accurate weather radar in Florida.
All right, temperature 82 degrees. Dew points are up there. Feels more like 90 when you factor in the humidity. Nothing going on radar. Max Defender 8, nice and quiet at the 11 o'clock hour. Had about 1.5 inches of rain between Largo and Seminole, coastal Pinellas County, just north of downtown Tampa. About 3/4 of an inch, and a couple of inches of rain near Lakeland, and even in Sarasota, about 2.9. Boy, it was a rainy day for some, and it will be tomorrow as well. Not much going on overnight tonight. I think things stay quiet and should stay nice and dry to start your Sunday. But right around lunchtime and early afternoon, we'll start to see those clouds build, the storms filling in. And by late afternoon into the evening, some heavy rain, even up to 8 and 9 o'clock at night on your Sunday. So if you have dinner plans, definitely take the umbrella if you're going out and about. Monday, very similar, but not as many showers and storms, so the timing will be the same, but more isolated compared to the widespread storms we'll see tomorrow. Same thing on Tuesday, earlier rain, maybe late morning into the afternoon, but isolated at best by the time we get into Wednesday and Thursday. Of course, it still stays very hot and humid with feels like temperatures over 105. So tomorrow, definitely the rainier of the next several days, not quite as as much Monday, Tuesday, and then a lot less Wednesday and into Thursday. Boaters, good news for you, at least in the wind category. Really not much going on. It's going to be very calm the next several days, so have to keep an eye out for storms. As far as the tropics go, there's a lot of that Saharan dust sticking around, and that's good news as plume after plume comes off the African coast, keeping things very quiet in the tropics, and we really don't expect anything to develop over the next several days. 91 degrees, it might have felt hot, but that's our average temperature in Tampa. 95 today, Plant City, 94. In Brooksville, Sarasota, you were at 91 degrees today. Now you see Nature Coast, upper 70s, Bay Area, upper 70s to low 80s, further inland in the mid to upper 70s. And tomorrow morning, starting out in the low 80s, it's going to be a warm and muggy one, but at least dry until about lunchtime. Then we'll see widespread storms later on in the afternoon. Dew points running in the 70s for the most part. Of course, that will be the case on Sunday as well, and also to start the work week. So your feels-like temperatures will be up there around 105 to even 108 in some spots. Overnight tonight, 79 degrees. Any showers will wind down, and it will be partly to mostly clear. Not bad, right? 92 degrees tomorrow afternoon in Tampa, 91 St. Pete. Lakeland at 94, Sarasota 92. And again, mainly afternoon and evening storms that will linger late into the evening, probably when you're having dinner, at least along the coast. Boaters, southeast wind, nice and dry in the morning, 5 knots. Westerly at 5 to 10 later in the day. Gulf running 1 foot or less, and a light chop inland. So again, afternoon to evening storms the next several days, but more so Sunday compared to Monday, and then fewer showers and storms heading into the middle of the work week. Those storms do amp up next weekend with high temperatures, low to mid 90s. Stay tuned. We've got much more to come.
Stay ahead of severe weather. Download the Max Defender 8 app now.
Everyone's morning starts a little differently, and we are no exception.
Ours starts by getting you ready with what's making news each day.
About what the kids are expecting. We work together to prepare you for the day's weather, so you're ready for whatever comes our way.
And ooh, it could be a hot mess on the roads. I'm keeping an eye on traffic and showing you how to get around it.
Watch Avery, Chris, Lee, Amanda, and Deanne as they get you ready for the day.
No matter how you start your morning,
wake up with us weekdays starting at 4:30 a.m.
Tonight, we continue to follow the shocking assassination attempt on former President Donald Trump at a political rally in Pennsylvania.
We've all seen the video. Then we heard from the former president himself. On Truth Social tonight, he said a bullet pierced part of his ear. It left blood dripping down his face as the Secret Service pulled him to safety. Tonight, the gunman is dead. At least one rally participant is also dead. 2 others in the crowd were critically wounded. Politicians from both sides of the aisle have been offering statements supporting the former president and condemning the act of violence.
The Secret Service says the shooter was outside of the rally venue and its security perimeter. They also say the gunman was in an elevated position on a rooftop. A man who says he saw the shooter climbing onto that roof says he tried to alert law enforcement, but it happened too quickly.
A minute or two before the shooting, saw a guy, gray shirt, climbing up the metal roof on the building right beside us, and didn't know what he was doing, trying to alert cops and police that there was a guy crawling on the roof. And then we saw a rifle sling over his shoulder, and yeah, after that a couple shots fired off, so it wasn't very, it was scary.
The last time the nation was stunned by an assassination attempt on a president was in March of 1981.
That was when President Ronald Reagan was shot and wounded by John Hinckley Jr. Now, that happened as President Reagan was walking out of a speaking engagement in Washington, D.C. His wound turned out to be much more serious than what it looked like at first glance. His White House press secretary, James Brady, and a Secret Service agent were also seriously wounded.
A reminder of the tensions in our country right now to see those shocking images again.
I immediately thought of Reagan when I saw that, and then you found out, oh no, this was
very serious,
near deadly. Yeah.
Yes, but we are happy to report that former President Donald Trump is safe tonight, and admittedly, he himself says he's doing fine. We'll be right back.
In a race like no other, trust a network like no other. News Nation brings you the conventions live. Every story, every angle, for every American. First up, Milwaukee, Monday. The most trusted journalists, analysis from all perspectives, and your backstage pass, giving you a behind-the-scenes look at one of the biggest political events of the year, the Republican National Convention and News Nation. News for all America.
So here we go.
He is busted out there.
But now he hits top gear. Look at the surge of her career. And it's a world record again.
Here we go. What a performance.
Unbelievable. Always bad. That's dominated by the United States.
The Olympics is brought to you on News Channel 8 by Publix. Publix, where shopping is a pleasure.
Finally tonight, a day of political violence with deadly consequences. Former President Donald Trump is said to be okay tonight, all things considered, after being shot in the ear during a campaign rally. He could have easily been killed. A person attending the rally was killed and 2 others critically injured, and the suspected shooter is also dead. These days, it's hard to be shocked by the vitriol in political discourse, but like many of you, this assassination attempt left me bewildered, stunned, and frankly feeling a little sick inside. Now, we've seen sort of in this newscast, but these are unsettling days, and it leaves us wondering when this angry tide of political intolerance will end. Now, we don't have all the facts behind the brutality tonight, but we do know this. The violence needs to stop, and we must unite as a country. This election will continue as it has in years past, and all of us will play our part in the political process. Our remarkable history of overcoming obstacles proves it. So despite all that happened on this historic day, I choose to be hopeful. I have to be. And I hope you find it within yourself to feel the same. As we say goodnight, I encourage you to stay positive as we all renew our commitment to civility in our political system. It has been a difficult day. I think a lot of people are looking at it and they're just saying, I can't believe it.
And you and I were talking earlier about the fact that this event will most certainly, first and foremost, change the way security procedures are handled at political rallies.
No doubt.
There's no question about that. But my hope is, and even listening to you now, is that we are better than this as a country. We have to be better than this as a country. We cannot resort to violence against those we do not agree with on either side of the aisle.
Yeah, I mean, and you hate to think that something like this has to be what happens before
the
we all
galvanizing moment.
But you heard from all of those on all sides of the aisle tonight in one voice, saying this has to change. We have to do better. And I believe we can. It is a choice, but it starts right here.
I agree.
It starts with all of us.
Indeed. We, of course, will continue our coverage of this historic event on News Channel 8 tomorrow morning. Avery Cotton will be in first thing in the morning. NBC will continue with its coverage until 1 a.m.
Thank you for joining us tonight. We're going to rejoin NBC in coverage as it continues. Good night.